Emmett White, Aggie running back, will always be remembered for his 578 all-purpose yards against New Mexico State as a junior in 2000. That's still an NCAA record. And that number included 322 yards rushing. That is an Aggie one-game school record as well. That's the same year he led the country at almost 240 all-purpose yards a game, the same year that he was named a third-team All-American.
The choice to come to Logan was, when Coach Arcelani was here during the recruiting process, they made me feel very comfortable, made me feel like I was going to be a big part, of their equation of what they were trying to do, up at Utah State. There were other, Pac-10 schools, had some back then. It was the West. But then, just Utah State made me feel very comfortable. So, I chose to come up here. And, back to the Valley, I played multiple schools from around the Valley, so I was actually comfortable coming up here. My running style would be kind of make the most, of what is kind of given to me. So, I was lucky to play with a great line up in front of me who gave me opportunities. So my job was just to take advantage of what they made for me. Memories of the game actually go back to during the week. Coach Cole, during preparation for the game, he was like, "You're not going to have a big game this week. I need to find a new tailback." Looking at, how their defense, aligned and played. So, he kind of called that we would have a big game. Now, how big a game kind of was a different question, but man, it just seemed like everything was clicking. They weren't holes, they were, huge gaps. It seemed like, the line just made it plain as day for me, where to go. And it's just one of those days, once you kind of get in the zone and you keep going, and it's one of those ones you don't want the game to end, to tell you the truth. I don't know how people say I wasn't surrounded by great talent. I can name numerous people who hold a lot of records, for this university that were on this offense, as in Curtis, Cooley, Fuentes, Pinga, another NFL guy. So a lot of NFL guys on that team. I had kind of the limelight position. So unfortunately, the O-line didn't get looked at like that, but a lot of them actually went and played after also. You know what? I think against, I believe it was Wyoming, we had a big game, on the ground, put up quite a few yards, not exactly sure, of the number. But there are a lot of other games also. They might not have been statistical as the New Mexico State game, but memories as, a comeback win from North Texas at North Texas, was a big win for us. And then also being able to put 100+ yards on a lot of those top, LSU, Oregon defenses back then who were, top 10 defenses. We came to play, still put up statistics on the offensive side of the ball. The first time I really remember meeting Turbin was, after he had torn up his knee. He was in the weight room, just actually on, one of the cardio equipment. And I just went and spoke to him. Kind of just told him to keep his head up. Didn't really know he had the capability to do the things that he did. But, with anybody who went through what he went through with his knee, it's hard to come back from. So, just seeing, the size and everything that he had, I just wanted to, reassure him, like, hey, continue to work hard, but make sure you take the time and come back when your knee feels good, because you need to put up the stats you need to, for the goals that he had set. And then really from that day on, we kind of just, kept in touch. If he had questions, things like that, after games, he would call, especially if it was a home game, we would talk about different things that went on and just, develop that relationship that way. What does it mean to be inducted into the Hall of Fame? Man, it's kind of an honor. I don't believe that's hit me yet. Being put with a bunch of players that have done great things already in the university, and with those who've done great things who also be inducted is, it's a once in a lifetime experience. And, for me, I appreciate it all. I look at it as a blessing, because the guys I played with, I can count numerous of them that if they're not in now, probably will be in pretty soon. So it's just nice to be able to see, like, hey, you came up here, you worked hard, and what you did was appreciated.